I want to shift focus to the other big story we're tracking here on India Today. India's National Security Advisor Ajit Doval today said India should ensure 1993 blast accused Tiger Memon goes through the judicial process. He also set the record straight, saying Yakub Memon was hanged because there was ample evidence against him in the 1993 blast case and not because India had not succeeded in getting Tiger Memon. The National Security Advisor was speaking at a function in Mumbai where, in response to a question on Pakistan's continuous provocation, Ajit Doval said India punches below its weight. India must increase its weight and punch accordingly. And that's a significant statement that comes from India's National Security Advisor. His point is that India should be able to deter terror perpetrators. Let's listen in to NSA Ajit Doval.
Power is not as good as you have it, but as much as you can exercise. It is just like money. I can have 50,000 rupees in my pocket and die of starvation if I decide not to spend it. So India has a mindset where it hits, it punches below its weight. We have to punch not above our weight, we have to punch not below our weight, we have to increase our weight and punch proportionally.
There is a feeling that India couldn't catch Tiger Memon, so they have caught his younger brother and executed him. What do you think about that?
I think it's completely wrong. I don't agree with it at all. That India, the fact that India should take Tiger Memon to the logical, judicial, whatever is the consequence of that, that is right. But they are started. This is not this or that. It is not that if it was this was right, then this is not right. The other thing is not right. Yakub Memon is a standalone thing. Tiger Memon is a standalone thing. There are many others who are standalone. How they get elected? Because you know it is just like this. That since you cannot do anything to me, you will slap my grandchild. There is no logic.
Strong words there from the National Security Advisor Ajit Doval. India must learn to punch according to India's weight and not punch below its weight. Let's now talk about Pakistan. Biggest proof of Pakistan's involvement in the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks has come from Pakistan itself. Tariq Khosa, who headed Pakistan's Federal Investigation Agency, has come out with damning revelations. The question is, will Pakistan act? And there was a fierce face-off between Tariq Pirzada in Pakistan and Brigadier Mahalingam in India. Let's listen in. Can we now hope that Pakistan will take action against the perpetrators of terror?
I'm so glad that you raised this issue. You know, we have discussed this issue many times. Remember, three things have already happened. A, that because of the seriousness of the judicial system in Pakistan, the case is now underway, and in the recent conversation between the two prime ministers of Pakistan and India, they have agreed that they will accelerate the process, but the judicial process has to take its course, and it cannot be expedited under the whims and the wishes of the politicians of the two sides. So one thing has to be remembered. There is a legal process going on right now.
Tariq Pirzada, you have lost 150 children in Peshawar. You will still speak English and not take action against terrorists. Is this how Pakistan will combat terror?
Well, I have a news for you. There have been several major arrests as a result of the bombing of those children, and that has been a major success. And we are now prosecuting those people.
Will Pakistan go after India-centric terror, sir? Will Pakistan go after India-centric terror? Because there is ample evidence to show that this plot was hatched in Pakistan. You may have arrested minions. You have not arrested the mastermind of terror.
Okay, here is the key thing that you must remember. Remember, there have been several dossiers that India has provided. The Supreme Court looked at them, and in the case of Hafiz Saeed, for example, they said that none of these dossiers have...
Forget Indian dossiers. What about your own investigations, sir? Tariq Khosa is not an Indian. He headed Pakistan's Federal Investigation Agency. He says these terrorists were trained in Pakistan. By whom, sir?
Interestingly, Tariq Khosa's article says everything but does not produce any evidence. And let me say one thing about the credibility, whether it is an Indian intelligence chief or a Pakistani investigative agency chief like Khosa, if they come out after a silence of 10 years or 8 years or 6 years and they cannot be honest about that sooner than later, then I would say that their statement should be seen with a lot of suspicion.
Respond to this, Freedom Mahalingam. Tariq Pirzada says Tariq Khosa's antecedents should be looked at and there's suspicion in what he's saying now.
So he is now, I think, Mr. Pirzada, you have started suspecting your own people. And he has been not an ordinary man. He has been a DG of the FIA. Now you spoke about, let me come across. You spoke about the delay aspect. Now I would like to say that this particular case has been deliberately delayed. Take the case of this particular case was shifted.
You are absolutely wrong. You are absolutely wrong. The Supreme Court said, the High Court said that the Indian government has not provided any evidence. As
forget the Indian government, sir. This is your own investigator.
Not only that, these people are Pakistanis. The terror attack was launched from Pakistan. What investigation have you carried out?
Look at the information provided by them. They never say anything substantive. The Khosa article does not provide any piece of evidence. It is a bizarre article just to, to stay in the limelight. Nothing else.
So why would Khosa write something like this? He headed your investigation agency. He headed Pakistan's Federal Investigation Agency, and he says the trawler was brought back to Pakistan, the trawler which sent these terrorists into India. It was painted and concealed. The engine for the terror attack for the dinghy was bought in Japan, sold to Lahore. He says there was a Karachi ops room, and he's saying that if Pakistan wants, there is this Fair Trial Act of 2013 where voice samples can be used as evidence. Tariq Pirzada, if your country has the will, go after the terrorists, sir.
You are absolutely right. The voice samples can be used if it can be verified by the technical experts that the voice samples are real, genuine, not tampered with. I agree with you, but this has to be gone through some legal process. It cannot be done because headline today is asking me to do. Tariq Khosa, if Tariq Khosa
Mr. Pirzada, tell me when your legal process will go through. You shot the prosecutor of the particular case. You changed the court. You had 300 witnesses, out of which only 20% of witnesses have been examined, and nothing has happened. Now you are trying to tell us that you are going to go through the legal process. When will the legal process be completed? Is there a will in Pakistan's sort of aim to carry out this task?
We cannot summarily do justice as you did the summary justice in the case of Ajmal Kassab. You did not allow our
Mr. Pirzada, it is because the terror attack has been masterminded by the ISI. And ISI will not allow the courts to proceed and punish these people. This fact is known to you as well as every single Pakistani that this will not happen. And that is precisely the reason why the case is not progressing, why it is getting delayed.
Is not relevant anymore because it is the judicial system of Pakistan that has the capability of expelling prime ministers from their office. So you have to trust Pakistani judicial system. You just cannot worry about any lousy Khosa or some Indian raw agents making statements after 10 years.
No, why are you calling your namesake a lousy Khosa? He's a man who's carried out systematic investigations, Tariq Pirzada. Just because he exposes your country, you call him a lousy man.
Here is the answer. If he were an honest person, he should have immediately resigned at that time. If he had the evidence, he should have simply disclosed that I, in the interest of two countries, reveal this information, that Pakistan has voice samples, Pakistan has all the data, that the government of Pakistan is stonewalling on this issue. That man definitely has credential problems because he did not disclose it.
I want to quickly bring in, stay with me Tariq Pirzada, I want to bring in Brigadier Gurmeet Kanwal for more on this. He's a strategic affairs analyst. Brigadier Kanwal, what do you make of what Tariq Pirzada says? He says Tariq Khosa is a lousy man who's doing it for 2 minutes of fame.
Mr. Pirzada can remain in denial. He's always in denial. But I must say Mr. Khosa has shown a great amount of courage despite the grave threat to his life. His life is in danger from here onwards. Gaurav, I would like to say two things. One, now that Pakistan's complicity has been admitted by an outsider, that also the FIA chief, immediate UN sanctions must be imposed on Pakistan for sponsoring terrorism. At the very least, all military sales to Pakistan must stop from all member countries of the United Nations. Second, I see in this the early trend, the early strains of the emergence of a yearning in Pakistan civil society for the success that India has had and that they haven't. Pakistan is becoming a failed state. Gradually,
Pakistan clearly is becoming a failed state. Tariq Pirzada, closing comments to you. Will Pakistan take action, or is it becoming a failed state that will not take action against terror perpetrators?
You know, if you say Adbal Qassab was a criminal, that guy kept killing 200 and some people for 3 days. Where were the great armed forces of India?
Forget that. Will Pakistan take action? Will Pakistan take action?
Agencies? Your country is a failed state more than anyone.